This is the Conscious Hour. When you watch television in the United States, you've got left wing television and right wing television. Okay. You got two parties like a football game, the Super Bowl, and we fight amongst ourselves. But this moment in time, in 2026, and before, if you were paying attention, you would understand that the media is part of the military industrial complex. They always couch the war over there that, remember, it was an unprovoked attack. And then you learn later that it's not an unprovoked attack. Then they said they were going after Hamas, but it's obvious and everybody knows by now they weren't going after Hamas. And now Jared Kushner's saying, well, we're moving forward with the future city of Gaza. So I don't, at the Conscious Hour, pay any attention other than surfing the US media, Western media, just for the pablum or the propaganda. But what I do is I analyze the news from around the world, so I use multiple sources. This source here is Mahmoud. He is excellent. I've watched him since the unprovoked attack lie. And now I want you to pay attention to really what's going on. Here we go. This is Mahmoud.
Not only that, the American administration is carrying out moves on the ground and deploying more fighter jets, more refueling planes, more carriers to the region to attack Iran. Now, the American president is outright saying that he ordered 25 more bombers to attack Iran, and he said that he hoped that he doesn't have to use them. He made that recent statement threatening Iran again. Some people are not pleased in the American administration that an attack hasn't happened yet. As a matter of fact, there are several indications that Iran thwarted a plan, and the Americans are criticizing the action or lack thereof promptly by the United States administration. How? Well, Iran cut the internet off. That led to the Mossad deploying the Starlink with the help of Elon Musk to order their employees and agents and informants and terrorists inside of Iran what to do and what not to do. In the meantime, because everything was shut down, Iran identified all of the Starlink users and then took all of them down. In effect, taking down the vast majority, if not all, of the Mossad cells and hubs inside of Iran. Of course, it's likely that Israel would have some more hubs that haven't used Starlink at that time.
And hold that. And one of the official reports that came out was there was 900 Mossad officers identified. We'll call them agents, and they were eliminated. You don't hear that on the news, do you?
But that blinded them internally. Then Iran, after they carried out this operation, reopened gradually the internet with its own nationalized internet now that they're developing a China style internet that would prevent any external sabotage inside the country. All of this did not stop the threats and did not stop the deployment. The supercarrier Abraham Lincoln still on the way, still in stealth mode. The United States is still deploying more in the Middle East. And then we have this statement coming from Donald Trump that he ordered 25 additional bombers. And he said that, oh, I hope no further action is needed. Again, trying to be slightly ambiguous. But
Imagine
it's
how much
very
money
clear.
it costs to
All of the
do all
plans are
this.
still there, they're very solid. But now we have one of the strongest statements coming from an Iranian diplomat in relation to this matter, none other than the Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, who said the following: Iran will be using everything if the United States carries out an attack. In Iran's most direct warning yet to the U.S., Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi writes in the Wall Street Journal that our powerful armed forces have no qualms about firing back with everything we have if we come under renewed attack. Abbas Araghchi, the foreign minister, usually is, of course, a diplomat, tries to resolve matters, speak in a diplomatic tone, but there's no one to speak to in a diplomatic tone. It's all over. I mean, in Davos, some of them were saying that, that's it now with this rules based order, and the world is changing. A new world is arising. European countries are having alliances with China now, not just Canada. In effect, sending a message to Donald Trump that, well, you're doing this, all of this hostility against us. We're going to have to deal with the Chinese. So the Iranians and the Russians and the Chinese, well, everyone really, are reading through all of this information. That, of course, isn't going to stop the United States from carrying out certain actions, because the Trump administration proved that, well, they do take actions. At the end of the day, they did what they did in Venezuela. They're threatening more countries in Latin America, and they are actively taking actions on the ground towards Iran. But what's behind this statement that's coming from Abbas Araghchi? Why did he say that we will fight back, fire back with everything that we have? Well, it's nothing but a clear indication and a reflection of reality. And that reality is, well, the Iranian nation isn't afraid of confrontation. Iran had an 8-year-long war with Iraq that was imposed on them, and Iran had multiple hostilities that did not deter the establishment and the resisting people of Iran from continuing to fight for their sovereignty, independence, and support for the resistance, primarily the Palestinian.
So when you think of Iran, the Western media tells you that, oh, you remember the protests with all the women and they let their hair down and that whole thing. That was that was just it was Hollywood, okay? Hollywood. Just think of it that way. It was a Hollywood production by the West to get people stirred up. The US has been, pardon me, fucking with Iran clear back to when we removed the Shah. Okay? It's the same business model that we use around the world. We have coup d'etats. How do you think Zelensky got in there? I don't even want to go down this rabbit hole. But that's reality, folks. And you don't see it in the Western media. What the Conscious Hour does is it takes the news and surfs out there what the right wing, left wing saying, and then it goes out and looks at what the world is really, what's really happening in the world. I'm not trapped to a little bubble called the United States of America. That's why I lived overseas for so long. This is the Conscious Hour. It's your Conscious Hour. You know why? Because you're tired of your money being just sucked up by our government. Our infrastructure's failing. You can't ever barely get a livable wage in this country, which that's a whole nother story I'll do. What is a livable wage? But most people are struggling. And then look what Donald Trump's doing. He wants to cut off all the social services and everything, and he's going after some of the Democratic states now. Is this what America's about? Is this what you voted for? Are you a Christian? If you're a Christian, then you have to put one word in front of yourself, or words. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not judge. Anyways, the Conscious Hour is here for you. Please like and share, because the more you like and share, the more reality can be out there so people can look at a different perspective and then judge for yourself. But what will happen, I can guarantee you, is you'll crack through this wall of this delusion you've been living in by this trumped up Western media. Just look at who owns all the media sources now. Zionists. See? You're being brainwashed. You're being controlled. You're being manipulated. You don't trust your government. Look what they're doing. You're in shock. Speak out. Make the phone calls. Make it happen. Please like and share, and also donate to the 501c3 and the Conscious Hour. You can go to the Facebook page and make a donation on the Conscious Hour. Thanks for tuning into the Conscious Hour.